Okay, this is a short little video just to dispel a few myths about the standard pin versus the Morgan Hill boost pin. What I have in my hand is the standard pin, which is fitted to all Bosch VE fuel injection pumps on the 200 and 300 series of TDI Land Rover engines. And as you can see here, it has a cone machined into the bottom of it. Now the cone is actually eccentric, and eccentric means that it is machined to one side of the centre. If we spin it around, you might see the cone moves fore and aft. If we look here, you can see a little line. That little line is where the governor pin rests against the fuel pin. Now, as the turbo spools up, the diaphragm of which the pin is connected to gets pushed down. As it gets pushed down, it allows the governor pin to protrude more out of the pump. By protruding more out of the pump, it allows more fuel to be delivered to the engine. Now, some people say by twisting this pin around inside the housing of the fuel pump, it allows more fuel. And that is entirely correct, because the more the governor pin can protrude out of the pump into the bore of the fuel pin, the more fuel gets delivered to the engine. However, no amount of turning the pin, the existing pin, with inside the bore will change the geometry which is built in to the cone in the existing pin. So a lot of people say you can offset this pin by twisting it through 90 degrees, and by twisting it through 90 degrees you are going to see an improvement in the performance of the engine, because the engine is going to be receiving more fuel for every ounce of boost pressure. Now let's just take a quick look at the Morgan Hill boost pin and put them side by side for comparison. This is a Morgan Hill boost pin, and if we look, the ramp is cut at a much different angle to the existing standard VE pin fitted to the Bosch VE fuel pumps. Now, because of this angle and because of the geometry created inside this pin, for every ounce of boost pressure you get significantly more fuel. So it's exponential. The more boost pressure, the more this pin gets pushed down, the more the governor pin can protrude, the more fuel gets delivered to the engine, and the more fuel and the more turbo pressure, the bigger the combustion, the more output power the engine will deliver. So to conclude, it is simply not possible by turning the existing pin to replicate the geometric angle embedded inside the fuel pin. The Morgan Hill boost pin can be bought from Fourby.co.uk, and we welcome any inquiries both for public and for trade.